Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at Etrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 platform style 2-bike bike rack on a 2023 Volkswagen Tiguan. When choosing a bike rack for any vehicle, there's lots of different choices, and the NV is definitely one of my personal favorites, not only because it's a platform style, which I think is the best way to secure a bike, but also it's wheel mounted. That means that you're going to have a variety of different bikes that can go on here, including e-bikes and also carbon fiber frames, whereas sometimes your frame mounted ones, you're limited as to what you can put on here. And this one works really well, even with a large 29-inch bike with a long wheelbase that's pretty wide. It works really well on this Tiguan. The capacities of this bike rack are pretty solid too. You can have up to 2 bikes that have 60 pounds. There's also an extension that you could add on to make this a 4 bike if you'd like to. But with up to 60 pounds, that means you can really load this up and it's going to be able to handle that weight and pretty much any variety of bike. And what's really nice too is this is my own personal bike, and when I go out riding, I have a hatchback as well. And a lot of times I'll keep all my stuff in the back, or if I run to the grocery store after, I need to gain access to my hatch, and that's where the tilt feature really comes into play. So if I do need to grab anything from back there, I just simply pull this handle. This tilts back far enough to where I can open this and gain full access to my hatch. Now, just a personal opinion of mine, this is one of the better looking bike racks out there, and it's really noticeable in this gunmetal gray with orange anodizing configuration, but there's also different options you can get. And so if you want to match your vehicle a little bit more, you have those options. Another thing I really like about having a wheel mount means that taking your bike off is super easy. I can simply just push this tab back that holds onto our back wheel, and this plastic strap will not scratch my wheel, which is also nice. And I can kind of just let it rest here, and that allows me to hold on to my bike as I get the wheel mount portion off by simply just pushing the button, raising this up, and that's going to clear my tire. And the same goes for putting the bike on. You just simply lift it in, it sits really nice in this wheel cradle, and then just ratchet this down. You can hear it audibly clicking, get it nice and tight, and then now I can work on my strap while the bike is supported. And with the bike taken off the rack, we can take a closer look at that cradle, and you can see that it's channeled here for road bike tires. It's nice and narrow so they can sit in there well, but also it kind of steps, and that way if you have a chunkier mountain bike tire or even really a wide tire up to 3 inches is going to fit in here. So again, that really opens it up as to being able to haul a bunch of different styles of bike. And also, as far as versatility goes, if our bike is pretty long like we had, but I'm taking my kids out and they have their smaller bikes, I can move this strap up, and that's going to allow that to adjust to the wheelbase, and that front is still going to ratchet down nice and tight, even on 16-inch tires. Now, something to keep in mind is anytime you add any accessory to a hitch on your vehicle, you're going to add length to the overall. And from the rear fascia to the furthest point of this rack, we're looking at about 30 inches. So that's something to keep in mind, especially when you have your bikes loaded up. If you're normally backing into a garage or something like that with limited space, just keep in mind that your vehicle is going to be longer. But the great part is when you aren't riding and you want to just stow this in place, not to worry. It also stows in a tilt storage feature, and it looks great while doing it. Cuts down quite a bit. We are now at 14 inches, so it cuts it in more than half. So it actually fits really well by the fascia here. It's nice and tight, but not to the point where I'm worried that it's going to make contact with the bumper. Now, if you are mechanically inclined or maybe do your own repairs on the bike, you'll be happy to know that this actually extends out to become a mount to work on your bike at the trail. So if you have to work on anything as far as your wheels or whatever it may be, it's nice to be able to put your frame here. You can tighten this down. It's going to hold it in place and keep the bike suspended. So if you're at the trailhead and need to do some quick repairs, instead of just leaning against your vehicle or on the ground, you can have it suspended, which is a really cool feature. Another nice added feature is an integrated cable lock that stores really nice here, and whenever you do need to use it, you just simply pull this out, and this is going to allow you to wrap around each of your bikes and cinch this in place, and that way you have your bikes nice and secure. So if you have to run some errands while you have your bikes attached, no one's going to be able to come by and just take your bikes. Going along with added benefits and features of this bike rack is going to be the anti-rattle function, which simply means as you put this in place and tighten this wheel down by hand, it's going to fill up the inside of the receiver tube opening, making sure that, you know, as you go down the road, you might get some bouncing around, but this is going to stay super solid inside of the hitch, and that's just going to reduce any rattling of your bike, but also keep the noise down. Now, going along with that as well, you also have a pin and clip that's included, and it actually has a lock, and that's really nice too because you can lock this in place, leave this on the back of your vehicle, and again, no one's going to be able to walk away with it. Now, as far as ground clearance, this one is going to be hitch height, so it's pretty good here. It would take quite a bit of an incline for this to really bottom out, so that's really nice too. You don't have to worry about this hitting things. Now, if you go over a large bump or a curb, you may have to keep that in mind to not damage it, but overall, this is just one of my favorite personal bike racks. For really a serious biker, this is one that you can buy and you'll really never have to get another bike rack again. And really it comes down to it looks awesome. It has all the functionality that you'd want, and also just the added benefits of anti-rattle. The ability to work on my bike at the trailhead is huge, and really it looks good on the Tiguan. That was a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 two-bike platform style bike rack on a 2023 Volkswagen Tiguan.